The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it is Sunday, January 7th, and this is episode 164 of the Omnic Weekly, the first episode of this brand new year, 2024. And we ended the last year rather, with an episode with all four hosts at the table, but today it's just me and Frozen again. Hey Frozen, how you doing?
Hi, I'm okay, how are you?
I'm doing good. I love just before we started recording, me and Frozen were talking and we were just basically complaining about everything. And I was like, how are you doing? I'm okay, how are you? Like, very peppy. We were just complaining about shit ton of shit.
I don't need to rub everyone in everyone's face, and the last few days have been iffy.
I mean, it's winter. Everybody has that nagging sense of dread. Kind of the winter depression is really a thing. But anyways, how were the end of year? By the way, what is that cup? Witch's brew?
It was a Christmas present for my little brother, and it's like a little cauldron. And it was like just witch's brew. I have some coffee in there.
If you guys are listening on Spotify, whatever, you need to check this out on YouTube. She has a cauldron-shaped cup that says witch's brew. If you get that from family, that is actually saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That would be, I don't know, I dread the day that I get a Santa's cup or something from my family members. I'm like, hey, I'm not that old, you turds. But we're not at that point just yet. How were the end of year celebrations for you?
Stressful. Family, just a bit stressful, but it was okay.
I love how people are always like, there's like two kinds of people. People that kind of relish the whole end of year thing.
Oh, no.
And that kind of look forward to setting up the Christmas tree and having all these presents and all the whole thing about it. That it's just kind of living through all of that. And then you have the other people that just kind of deal with it. They're just like, yeah, we need to get through this. The whole thing, everybody in the family asking a million questions. We just need to get on with this and then try and survive these days. I
was glad when it was over.
Yeah, I don't mind the holidays. I'm not one of those people. I think I'm not going to say somewhere in the middle. I just think I just kind of learned to kind of get the best out of it and kind of enjoy. The thing is, of course, I don't get to spend as much time as I want with my family because I'm always working. So that kind of gives me a reason to pause and to kind of, which I did. I didn't stream or didn't make any videos for a week and kind of spend some time with the family. I'm not going to say I didn't do any work because that would be lying. We wouldn't want to start off the year with a lie, would we, Frozen?
I mean,
that would be bad.
Same. I did some working too. I took my laptop with me.
Yeah. I mean, it never stops. It never stops. I'm looking on the screen and I have the little... This is also a present I got from my brother-in-law, and it's just beautifully turning right now. It's almost like a little carousel. Look at it. It's like a little floaty thing. Apparently, this is something that Blizzard employees get at some point. I just broke it. Well, I didn't break it. It just... It's magnetic, so it kind of stays afloat with magnets, but if you push it too hard, the magnets collapse, and then... Okay. I need to use both hands. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, sure.
There we go. When you try and do it with one, it doesn't work. Anybody that enters the podcast right now is like very confused about what we were talking about. But anyways.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this is actually pretty cool.
It is.
You should definitely watch this podcast on YouTube to watch that.
Yeah. It's a little magnetic floating thing with all the values of Blizzard, which would be kind of interesting to look at them and see which ones they still score good at. I think there are a few things that we might have to remove for now. But anyways, this episode of the podcast, like the last episode, we kind of looked back on the previous year with all four members of the cast, kind of thinking about what 2023 had brought us when it comes to Overwatch, which wasn't always top-notch. It wasn't always good. But today, kind of the idea is that we look forward a little bit, that we start thinking about, okay, what do we expect to see happen in 2024? What would we like to see happen in 2024? Which I think might not necessarily be the same things. although I do think it's going to be an interesting year. I do, and I'm kind of curious on your opinion, Frozen. Like we saw in a little uptake in the whole vibe surrounding Overwatch at the end of last year, but I feel like as and I'm going to put the blame on the Winter Wonderland event. When that kind of launched, we got to push back. Like we fell back a little bit on that whole positivity meter when it comes to Overwatch. I feel like the things that give it away for me are like way more. We had a lot. The lever problem. I've talked about this many times. I've expressed my opinion on it being people that leave a game should get zapped in the testicles every time they do it. Lady parts, man parts, whatever you choose. But you should get zapped every time you leave a game on purpose. But yeah, then they did the whole punishment or the whole penalty system, and that kind of had an effect. But I feel like since the Winter Wonderland event, it's back to almost 1 out of 3 games has levers, and the backfill system is broken in quick play. So you basically, I've had so many games where you end up with 3 people. And then if one more leaves, the game just shuts down. I've had so many games shut down.
It was the most when I played alone or with like, I don't know, 2 or 3 people. At some point when you're losing, it's kind of just someone leaves or 2 people leave or in the enemy team even, and then it's just game over, and it's so sad to see. Especially I've kind of thought we went over that, and I was so happy when like just the levers like went down after a while. But I feel like a lot of people don't care.
Yeah, I think people are kind of losing that that sense of I want to keep my account safe because they don't trust the company anymore. I think the trust was slowly growing again, and the whole Winter Wonderland thing damaged the trust again. And I can see it on the comments on my videos too. It's all about the same thing. There's like whatever I post a video about, it always comes back down to trust, no matter where you put it. Like people are claiming that Maga was buffed to have more people buy the battle pass, which I know for a fact is not true. Like Alec Dawson said it in his latest tweet, in case you missed it, that they're going to nerf him on Tuesday, well, early next week, which is going to be probably Tuesday, because I think we're going to get the mid-season patch on Tuesday, and it's going to be part of that. But they tried to roll out a nerf earlier, but as Alec Dawson said, they had some hot fix issues, so they didn't manage to do it before the holidays because they didn't want to go into the holidays with a way too strong Mogo, but they had some bugs and had some issues. So, but yeah, those things, and then the whole, I'm going to be honest, I really don't agree with the way they handled the whole winter fair. I was kind of a fan of the idea and the concept. I still am of the basic of the concept, but the fact that they added a bundle for $30 that gives you more tokens than you would get out of the event itself, that is kind of fucked up.
I mean, I was such a big fan of the concept of like everything was fine until they just added that bundle. Honestly, that whole Winter Wonderland thing would have been completely fine without that bundle, especially since at the beginning so many people were confused. So they first bought the Winter Wonderland, and then they bought the bundle, and then they had a double, or they had to pay double. Like that whole confusion was just so.
Yeah, I don't understand why they didn't anticipate that this was going to happen. That people were going to get confused about the fact. Well, look, there's also, we can't blame everything on Blizzard. I mean, there is a sense, if you see, I mean, you can do the math for yourself. They did say there was going to be a bundle. That bundle was announced. My whole accounting is actually sticking out here. Do you see that? All these papers, I'm doing my accounting and I have put it aside, but I hadn't put it aside enough.
If you wouldn't have mentioned it, I wouldn't have seen it.
Yeah, just noticed like the receipts sticking out and was like, oh shit. Or that reminded me that I still have to continue that after the podcast. Anyways.
Honestly, with the Winter Wonderland bundle, I've also seen some like photoshopped images and false information. I think that also just skyrocketed the amount of people who just started hating again, because some people just wanted to like stir the fire a bit, which made me so angry.
Yeah, that has been happening a lot. There was this one instance that it was Gavin Winter, the systems guy that is doing the whole rework of the competitive. He posted on Discord that he found this. There was this guy complaining on Reddit, I think it was, that he got banned, and he appealed the ban because he was banned for bad language, which, if you repeatedly trash talk people, if you're repeatedly rude, if you use harassing language repeatedly, first you'll get silenced, after that you'll get banned. And that person had drove it that far that they actually got banned. And they had made a ticket to appeal that ban, or it might have been a silence too, I don't remember exactly. And they hadn't gotten an answer from Blizzard, from the customer service, going, yeah, we checked out your account, we checked out what happened, and I'm sorry to say, but we're going to stick with our guns, and we're going to keep you banned, or we're going to keep you silenced. And these are some of the words that you used, and they gave him a whole list of all the words. What that person did was they changed all of the words that were mentioned into more friendly stuff, like talking about quiche and stuff like that, and which you can do by, if you get a ticket from Blizzard, if you go to your browser, there's a window where you can change the HTML on your browser window, or you use Photoshop to just change it. If you kind of talented at Photoshop, you can make anything happen. So he just changed all the text, took a screenshot of that, and went to Reddit and went like, yeah, this is the language I used. I talked about quiche, and apparently after someone checked it, that was still an issue, and what the hell is going on, and what are they doing, and blah blah blah, and everybody was getting angry and worked up. And Gavin Winters saw that, so he dove into the system, and he noticed that that person had made those changes, and that person had to, and he basically kind of called him out and went like, hey dude, I just checked that ticket, that's not what my colleague said to you, these were the words that you used, this is the original ticket. And he added a screenshot of the original ticket. And that person actually removed their complete Reddit account. They did not only remove the post, they removed it. They completely went in hiding because, yeah, they fucked up. And that's been happening apparently a lot, where people kind of are. And it is a situation where you can bring it back, in my opinion at least, to trust. It's so easy to... Why is it so easy for people to believe that there was an alien running around in a mall in Florida? Because nobody trusts government anymore. Because you always think that you're kind of trying to put one off on you, that you're always hiding stuff. So as soon as one nutcase makes a crazy claim, everybody is more inclined to believe it. It's the same case. Trust is completely gone. And so people will kind of latch onto anything that they can hate Blizzard for.
Yeah, but how do you regain trust if people just don't believe anything you say anymore?
Well, to be honest, if they had not released that bundle, if they had shown like they get to all these crossroads over and over again, where they get the choice between, are we going to be the good guy, or are we going to go for the money choice? And that is really brutally put. And let me make this very, very clear. I understand more than anyone else, or I do understand very well that they need to make money, and I do have respect for the fact that they need to find ways to monetize the game, because all these people need to get paid, they have plans, they want to... All the money that we put in there will kind of also pay off for the next thing that they want to do, and for the next game they want to make. And it's how the industry works. You basically release a game, and with the success of that game, or the money you earn on that game, you start working on the next game. And in this case, because it's a live service game, they actually invested back into the game on top of investing it into the next project. It is a company, they need to make money. Even while they're under Microsoft, they still need to make money. But I do think there are better ways to make money than selling a bundle like that. And to kind of, every time you get a choice, if you set up this whole kind of gameplay mechanic, this progression mechanic in your game, and you add a shortcut way that not only helps you to shortcut the system, but basically makes the whole system useless, because the amount of tickets you would get that you got out of the bundle were way more that you could earn in the actual game. And with everything that you could earn in the game, it actually allowed you to buy all the skins, while in the game you were not allowed to buy all the skins with what you could earn. So there's a whole thing where they must have known. There's no way in hell that they did not realize that is not going to that they're going to get pushback on that. That is going to raise questions and whatnot. And by each time you get to crossload like that, making the choice in which you think about the player base and the community first, I think that's the way you regain trust. You don't regain trust with giving everything away for free. I'm going to be that is not the way for it. Everybody that thinks that you're not going to regain trust by going back to 6 versus 6. You're not going to regain trust by getting loot boxes back. I just think that, there needs to be a little more good guy and a little less, hey, how can we make some extra money on this? Because I think people are kind of done with that whole story. Kind of at some point, they just lose emotional connection to the game. They don't. At some point, they don't care anymore. I've had so many people comment on my content going, I still love playing the game, but I don't give a fuck about it anymore. Where they basically are trying to tell me, like, I enjoy playing it with my friends, but if it disappears tomorrow, it's fine. I don't mind. I'll find something else to do. And that is kind of worrying. That is kind of... and as you know, I kind of keep an eye on the statistics when it comes to search volume, both on Google and on YouTube, because that is kind of important to see, to put like a framing around my content and why my content is doing what it's doing. And we are at the lowest level we've been with Overwatch 2. We're at the lowest. We're even at the level the game was at the lowest point for Overwatch 1. That is the point we're at when it comes to, and that is not the metric to keep in mind, but it is one of the metrics that is kind of showing a trend that is kind of worrying me, is that we're at the lowest point that we've ever been with Overwatch, even with Overwatch 1. So I don't know, that's not a good sign, but we'll see what the future brings. There are some important things to come, because they're reworking the whole shop, they're reworking the battle pass, and when you ask me what is the way to regain trust, these are going to be the moments where if the next the push that they're going to do on competitive, which I think is going to be I think that is going to be well received. I think that within the community that is going to get welcomed, and there's going to be feedback, and there's going to be things that people want to change, but it's definitely going to be a step forward. If we can see that same kind of step forward in the whole battle pass system and the shop that they're planning to do in this year, and that they'll be talking about soonish, I think somewhere near the end of this month, start of next month, we might see a switch back, because I do think all in all the game is in a good spot. It's just the whole monetization around it. The systems are kind of not optimal.
It's everything around it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still having fun with the game.
A lot of people were so hopeful for, like, Bobby Kotick finally left. Him having gone finally. And as people are, they expect change immediately. So I get that for a lot of people with the Winter Wonderland and everything kind of felt like a gut punch, because they expected, hey, everything's gonna be better now, we're gonna be a bit hopeful, and then they kind of got trampled on again.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that you say that, and this is a real coincidence, because Frozen didn't know, but I actually have a video coming out later today that is actually about that topic, about Bobby left, but do not expect everything to change tomorrow, next week, or next month. It is going to take time, and why it is going to take time for that to happen. There's also a question you should ask yourself, is like, or that we should ask ourselves, but I don't know. I don't know. It's something that we should keep ourselves busy with, but it is something to keep in mind. We do not know to what level the people that Bobby brought into the company, or even other people that joined the company since what their mindset is about all the monetization and their relationship with the community. I wouldn't just expect that they're probably leaving that all the bad elements are kind of rooted out. I think there are still a lot of corporate greedy elements right there at the company. Some of them have been removed. Some of them are going to leave in the next few weeks. Some of them will leave over time as Blizzard finds its new identity and kind of finds its own. There's going to be a bit of a struggle internally, I think. But if Microsoft, which I strongly believe, like Phil Spencer said that he wants to give the power back to the developers, to the people that make the game. I strongly believe that he meant that. But he also has been known to not be very hands-on when it comes to that management. So there's always we've seen that many a times before in these kind of big companies. Someone has a vision, but that doesn't mean that everybody kind of follows up on that vision. So I don't know. I do think things are going to change over time. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see over the next year. I do think, like, when I was just kind of maybe complaining a little bit or kind of pointing out what was not going well, but I do have to add that I'm optimistic for the next year, especially because I think they're realizing that trust is an issue, that they need to find the middle ground between making money and regaining that trust, that without the trust, they're not going to make money much longer, that people are just going to abandon. The less emotional attached you are to a game, the less likely you are going to spend money. If they keep you close to them, if you have that feeling that Blizzard is a company that you can trust, you'll be willing to spend money on them. You'll be willing to kind of spend money on what you like, as long as you feel it's fair. And there's always going to be people that think any dollar they should spend on the game is not fair because they have these, I bought the game 6 years ago, so it should still be free. All should still be free, which is false information. No way you kind of turn it. I mean, I keep saying this over and over again, but the amount of loot boxes you had to buy back in the day to get everything you wanted out of an event, there's something everybody lives with this image that when they opened the loot box, it was just stacked full with stuff that they wanted. That there was a skin that had their eye set on a heart set on a Mercy skin. They opened the first loot box and that Mercy skin just popped out and they had it immediately. No, like everybody was always complaining about. By the end of the event, the only thing I saw in my comments were I didn't get the skin I wanted. I had to buy 50 loot boxes to get the skins I wanted. There were like 1 out of 60 people that got everything they wanted just by opening freaking loot boxes. So, but anyways,
you never got like any decent skin just from playing. Like sometimes you had luck, but often you just had to put money into that. And I don't know. It's like the goggles of nostalgia, kind of like that people have been putting on, because you tend to forget about the bad things first, and you only remember like the fun and the good things. I mean, it's nice to just remember the good parts, but it kind of faces some obstacles when people just want the things back that they hated in the first place.
People are also lazy. Like when they look at an issue and they kind of start looking around at what the solution could be, they always grapple the first thing that comes to mind. And they'll latch on to that and they'll hold on to that for infinity and beyond. And then it gets amplified by Reddit, it gets amplified by content creators, and it becomes the thing. It's definitely nostalgia combined with laziness and humanity in general.
Because why would you want to think about complex issues and trying to figure out like a well-educated stance on it when you can just say, hey, I want this back that I had before. I have no reason why I should, but I want this.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And you can't really blame people for it because it's not their job to think about stuff like that. That's the fun thing about it. It's not their job to think about that, but they still all have an opinion and they'll just throw that opinion in your face repeatedly every time you say something. So
that's just a social media thing I'm so tired of. Just everyone throwing their opinion everywhere, even though it just might not matter. Because it's fine if you have an opinion, but sometimes it's okay to not have an opinion. But like, I don't feel like some people seem like force themselves to have an opinion on something, or they're just like, hey, this topic, I should have an opinion on that, and they just copy someone else's opinion because you can't have an opinion on everything.
True. Social media is really bad to that. You are kind of, I'm not going to say like people force themselves. People are forced to have an opinion. Like people will generally get in your face and kind of ask you like, what is your opinion on that? I sometimes have it on my stream that people will come in and go about the most random shit, just throw it in my face and going, what is your opinion on that? Like, I don't know, man, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm just doing my thing. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't follow that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not.
It's just not productive, because for so many things you need to have background knowledge, you need to follow something, maybe know recent news about something. And for example, for Overwatch, we can make educated guesses because we talk about that game so much, we play it ourselves, we follow everything that goes on behind the scenes. But if you would ask me about God knows what kind of game right now, like, hey, what do you think about the state of this game now? I don't fucking know, and frankly, I don't care. And it's okay to not care, because you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And a lot of people seem to forget that.
Exactly. But I mean, like you said, it's part of social media. It's kind of a fucked up side. It's also the strength, of course, since people that do have an opinion, that have an educated opinion, can inform other people about certain things that need to be shared. And I mean, especially when it comes to, like for instance, the whole revolution in Iran that sadly kind of that doesn't get any more attention, and it kind of seemed to have disappeared out of everybody's memory. Like the whole people have a channel to kind of have their voice heard, but let's be honest, about 15% of those voices should be heard, and 85 of them should just, I don't know, sit down, get knitting as a hobby. I don't know.
Or I don't know, have a chamomile tea.
Yeah. Just chill. You don't need to chime in. It's fine. You don't live there. You have no idea what is going on. Like, don't ask my opinion. I've read some stuff. I've heard some people talk about it, but I don't live there. I don't know what these people go through every single day. Who would I be? How arrogant would I be to have to claim to have a well-educated opinion while living somewhere in good old Belgium, where the biggest problem we have right now is flooding. Come on, let's be honest. That is kind of and it's the same thing. Like every Overwatch gamer thinks that they are a game designer. They all have the best opinion on how it should be working and what is wrong. Like the same with the whole Moga this discussion right now. It drives me crazy. And what drives me even more crazy is that Blizzard seems to be kind of trying to tap into that and listen and to kind of take into account, because open communication and the dialogue is really important to them. You can't fault them for that. But God,
they promised to listen more to the community, which was a huge thing, but it kind of bites them in the ass right now, because they're confronted with that huge bulk of either content creators saying, hey, I want to have quick games, I want to have this, I want to have that, I want to have that, and their community blindly agreeing because they don't really know what's going on there. Then esportlers wanting something completely different, like wanting something challenging. They don't care how long it takes to find a game. They just want good quality games. And then just like quick players, just casual gamers who just have another completely different idea. So they're like committed with these three huge chunks of opinions, and usually they try to listen to one of them, but it upsets the others and it doesn't really work. So I mean, I'm glad they said, hey, we're trying to listen more to the community, we're trying to fulfill your wishes, but you have to have someone who like just sets a border and says, hey, it's fine, it's okay that you wish for that, but it's not realistic and it's not healthy for the game to do that.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of filter.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I fully agree that they are kind of balancing the game, not even for three groups. In my opinion, there's like so many different ways that people approach it, because like you are an Ana main. there are some heroes that get on your nerves because they're harassing you like a Sombra for the longest time. But now I feel like you've managed to kind of work around that, and you'll deal with them very well. But like everybody has a certain main that they play, and everybody that counters them, they want to see those people nerfed, and they want to see their own heroes buffed. I think there's a few exceptions. I think Ana is one of them. I don't think there's an Ana player out there that will say buff Ana. They're all kind of happy with the way she is. But I do these questions, you know that. I do these questions on my stream, question of the day. And what I often will put in there is, which hero do you want to be removed? Which hero do you want to be nerfed? Which hero do you think needs to be buffed? And the answers that I get are so different. Like, everybody is always kind of thinking about their own standpoint, which makes sense. You can't fault anybody for that, yet again. But that is the circumstances in which they have to balance the game. That with manga now, everybody is so polarizing when it comes to. I made a video on Friday where I announced that they're going to nerf him next Tuesday, and my opinion in the video was, I don't think he's OP right now. I just think the one problem that a lot of people seem to have, and that makes them think that he's OP, is that he kind of sucks the fun out of the game for a lot of people. Well, everybody except for himself. And even for himself, he doesn't have the most exciting gameplay. It's kind of funny because that was what I said in my video. And later that day, we played with Michael, who plays a lot of manga. And he said something in the voice chat that I thought was very telling. He's probably going to hear this. But he said, yeah, he has a kind of a comprehensible kit. And that's exactly it. He has a very comprehensible kit. You shoot with the one gun, you set him on fire, that gives you more damage with the other one, which is interesting. But at some point, it also will get boring at some point.
I don't know. I always categorize tanks a little different, because there's tanks like Wrecking Ball who you can do so much different things with, who I always have. You see like different playstyles all across the board. Junkrat players, I don't see two Junkrat players having the same playstyle at all. But then there's Moira, who has like a very predictable kit. You know immediately, kind of intuitively what she's doing. Morga too.
DPS.
And yes, but I feel like you need both of those heroes for a broader player base, because some people who, for example, I don't know, play once a week, who just want to relax after work, they're gonna pick up Morga. You don't need to think about like too much what you're doing. You're just gonna, like, I don't know, do your thing, have a bit of fun, and then go off. Some other people, for example, like Yaros, are very skilled and like have a lot of fun with very complicated heroes. And I feel like the simpler heroes always get so much shit, but it's kind of undeserved. Sometimes it might be a tiny bit deserved, but simpler heroes should have a place in this game.
Oh yeah, that is true.
There are so many people who appreciate having simpler heroes in there.
Yeah, we're not calling those people stupid, by the way, just to make that clear. No, I fully agree with you. But my point actually was, I kind of pulled in the fact that he will get boring at some point if you play him too much, to kind of counter the idea that everybody's having fun with Morga. But what I do know is that when a Morga enters a game, and when two Morgas enter a game, it basically, it's a shitstorm. You immediately notice that the supports only have one focus at that point. That is keeping that Morga up. And we both play support a lot, and we know that if we have a Morga, you just look at each other, you go, shit, that is going to be a lot of work. And the DPS, they become your second priority, like, which makes sense. I mean, your first priority is always your fellow. Hey, camera, can you please focus on my face instead of my background? Thank you. I just noticed it was focusing on, I don't know what I think it's Yakimon, who's standing behind me with a smiley face that is drawing away the attention. And I'm moving my hands too much. I spend a lot of time in Greece. I do a lot of hand gestures.
A lot of moving the hands.
Yeah, moving the hands. No, like a lot of your support energy is going into keeping that Morga alive. But also he's very disruptive, which makes, like, Genji has this whole strategy in his mind on how he's going to build up his ult and how he's going to get there, and then when he's going to get nanoed by the Ana, and he's going to kick ass. Yeah, try doing that with a Maga in either the enemy team or in your own team. There's no way. They just keep throwing people around, kind of pushing everybody back, scouring it. Like everybody starts to run away. It's kind of a complete chaos, which leaves it doesn't leave a lot of room. And I think that is why people sometimes feel like he's OP, because if you focus down, if you just work together for 1 second, you can burn through him so fast. It's insane.
In Overwatch, it's kind of the same issue as I see with Orisa after her reward, because like both of those heroes are very much in your face.
Yeah.
And they have to be in your face to be useful.
That's the thing.
But if you're not a coordinated team, you're not going to be able to take that tank down, because if you focus on them for a second, they're actually quite squishy for a tank. Because I don't know, like you have like 3 options when creating characters. It's like a lot of damage, a lot of sustainability, or what's the third one again? I don't remember. Anyways, you have like 3 options and you always pick 2. Yeah. And with Maga and Orisa, they have to be in your face to survive. It's a surviving strategy, because if you can psychologically intimidate the other team and not shooting you, then you won. But a lot, like so many people just don't get that. If you just shoot them, they will be a coward. They will just fuck off.
And they're really easy. Like you don't even necessarily need an Ana to take him down. We've done it in so many different ways, creative ways to take him down pretty easily. But yeah, it's exactly what you said. People sometimes scour and kind of get intimidated by seeing a Maga in the other team. Also because everybody lives with that thing in their head, like Maga is too strong. And now they're going to nerf him on Tuesday, and I'm kind of afraid that he's going to kind of disappear in the background again, and nobody's going to care about him anymore.
I don't know. I think he was fine when they released him, if I'm honest.
That's what Blizzard agrees with. Blizzard also thought he was fine when they were actually happy with the way he was during the test weekend, but because they knew people still needed to learn him, and because of all the feedback, they tuned him up a little bit. And then they noticed, oh, this is too far, so they tuned him back. And then they were like, oh shit, people are complaining again. And now they tuned him up. And now people are complaining he's too strong, and they're tuning him back down. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're doing this, that the biggest influence on their decisions is the feedback. That is not, that would be stupid. They know what they're doing. They're professionals. That's not the case, but it definitely is a factor. The image, I don't know, was it you who said it or someone said it during that same voice chat we had during the game? Like his image, I think it was Frozen. His image is also very, very important. Like what is the image of this hero? What is the perception around this hero?
I talked about that just because I just feel like the changes we are seeing right now are just from preventing him to get the same image as Orisa has, as Roadhog had. Like both of those heroes had kind of like either images as a throw pick or just picking that hero to win, and like, you know,
the Bastion, and I feel like the Bastion strategy, like even when Bastion is not that, I still stand with that. If you deal with the Bastion, if someone pulls out the Bastion, there's so many things you can do. I've been playing so much Mei, I'm embarrassed because look, this is a small switch but what is a Mei counter? There is no Mei counter.
That's very interesting.
There is no Mei counter. I've been playing I just getting 30, 40, 50 kills every single match, just sniping snipers. Just
the best Mei counter I could think of would be Mei.
Yeah, another Mei. You just need to be the better Mei, and then but nobody kind of thinks about that. Everybody's worried when someone whips out a Bastion. Well, let me whip out Mei. That Bastion is going to be very quiet, trust me. I mean, that's also what I love about Overwatch, is the fact that if you're not a one trick, if you kind of, and that is my goal for 2024, I want to get better at all the heroes. I want to be able to pull out any DPS, any support, any tank that I think is necessary to win a game. I want to kind of lean into that whole, have a broad, how do you say that? Spectrum of heroes I can play, and I'm going to play this counter card till it breaks, basically. But that's a different story.
I mean, me too. I've been trying a lot of like other supports recently, other than my 3 trusty ones that I've always played. Like I've been like dabbling a little bit. I played more Kiriko, because I didn't really play her since she came out, but she's so fun once I got the hang of her. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
countercard. Like try to learn my heroes. It's fun to learn new heroes. It is really fun if you just try it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like in the last few months, is just broadening my spectrum when it comes to new heroes. And there's so much I discovered. I got better at heroes that I've been playing for a long time because I tried other heroes and kind of started to understand better how you can work together with each other and how you can. It always helps if you like. You're wasting so much of your time and so much fun if you're one tricking in Overwatch. There's no reason to do it. We have some of those people in our community, and I mean, I respect them. You do what you want to do, but just to switch to other heroes and to kind of be able to play a lot more heroes and just to try them out and to find something that it just is so much fun. But
That's one thing I did last year that I noticed because I've kept getting DPS against my will. I just tried my hands at Ashe and kind of started learning her. And through learning Ashe, I actually got better at Ana, which
yeah,
was quite interesting
yeah,
because you acquire a or a kind of different set of skills, but you can also implement that at the heroes you already play, which kind of take over when you have the muscle memory.
I totally understand because Ashe forces you to aim through your sight, and Ana doesn't necessarily lean on that. Ana can shoot from the hip if you get close in. You just shoot from the hip a lot. You use your flasks wisely. There's so much more in her kit, and if you are not the best sniper, you can get around by slightly, I'm not going to say ignoring it, but slightly ignoring it because the hitboxes are bigger on Ana. Like Ana will hit her targets way easier than an Ashe will. But an Ashe will also, if you play a lot of Ashe, it will train you to hit your shots closer, which will, in the end, when you start sniping on Ana, will make sure you hit your targets even better.
Weak scoping got so much better just because of that.
Yeah, totally. I totally get it.
Especially since like they kind of have like the same amount of reaction time you have to have with when people get close to you, get out of scope or get into scope and things like that. So that was.
Wait, let me explain something. For the people that play Widowmaker, getting out of scope is when you stop looking through your sight. Yeah, no, it's a crazy thing, but
it's
some people do it.
Concept where you can stop scoping.
Yeah, you can stop scoping, even if you feel someone hitting you. I mean, you can stop scoping it. It works really well.
Yeah.
The amount of widows I've seen die just scoped up. But anyways, we've been kind of we've been looking forward a little bit, but I think it's also kind of for the time that I don't know how much time do we have left? Like about 15 to 20 minutes to look forward to what we actually expect to happen this year. And I think, like I said at the start, we're kind of. It feels like we're getting a lot of complaints out of our system, not complaints, like general perceptions. It is kind of, the last few weeks have been rough, basically.
Maybe a bit of frustration on our point, not only towards the game, but like just towards the community.
Yeah.
Sometimes
definitely.
you have to voice that, it's okay. But people, if you judge your frustrations, do it in a productive way.
Yeah,
that's always more helpful.
I stopped copy pasting shit from Reddit because Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There was a certain website, I'm not going to say which one, that I posted like a screenshot of their Overwatch page on our Discord yesterday, and I was like, what are these people doing, man? There's like every little bit of news that doesn't necessarily needs to be anything negative. They find a way to make it into a title that sounds like Blizzard fucked up and that the game is completely ruined. Like it could be that they add I don't know, a beautiful cute potato weapon charm that you get for free. They'll manage to turn it into something, a whooping title that is super negative, and it's just like, can we all just chill the fuck out and get back to the neutral, the objective, like where you basically approach everything with an open mind instead of painting a dark and gloomy picture from day one for everything. But anyways, I do think, like I said earlier, I do think we're kind of going into a new era for Overwatch. I think they learned a lot of lessons in 2023, and I think we're going to see the results slowly being rolled out this year. And yeah, sure, Bobby's gone, and we're not going to see that effect immediately, but I do think they're going to get more freedom to make the steps, or to take the steps rather, to get back to a better place. And the first thing we're going to see is Season 9, of course. Yeah, Lunar New Year is coming. That it should be starting in a few weeks. I wouldn't get my hopes up too high. I don't think it's going to be anything too spectacular, the fact that it's kind of really squeezed in at the end. But I think with the start of the next season, we're going to see some interesting things.
I mean, like, of course he's gone now, but we have to always remember in a live service game, they prepare things months in advance.
Yeah.
So things that they're starting to prepare right now, we'll probably see in June or even later. Depends on what they do.
Later, trust me. Yeah, it is really.
Yeah, like, I think like the big changes. I mean, there are some big changes coming that I'm quite excited about, which I'm gonna talk in a second about. But I think big changes regarding what's happening right now, changes in perception, or like we're gonna start around like early summer probably, where they can actually implement everything they learned so far or learned last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first thing I'm quite excited about is the comp rework. I started playing competitive actively in 2023, which hasn't been that long ago.
Was last year, Frozen? It was last week even.
Yeah, it was not that long ago since I started playing competitive. Like, here and there, dabbled in it. I didn't play at all in Overwatch 1, so I have absolutely no opinion on that at all. But I'm quite excited about the competitive rework.
Yeah, I think it's going to... you shouldn't expect the competitive rework to fix... to get you out of... If you're stuck in gold, don't expect the competitive rework to get you out of gold magically. What is going to happen is it's going to show you why you might be stuck in gold. And with the soft reset they're going to do every single year, your growth, your personal growth as a player will get awarded more quickly. But it's going to be way more transparent for you to see, and it's going to be way more rewarding, which will lead to less frustration, which will eventually, because I think that is the biggest issue, is that people get frustrated, and when you get frustrated, you're not playing at your best. And this is why I have this rule: if I lose 3 games in a row, I stop playing comp for a few games, and then I get back to it later, because even if you think you're not getting frustrated, trust me, you are. You're getting kind of nervous and worked up, and it just ends in a shit.
I mean, we did it before in stream where we had a losing streak, and I suggested, hey, let's play one game of quick play and then go back. And that actually worked. And we won the games after in competitive. It's sometimes you just have to take a little break and then have some fun, or just change it up. And then you're more relaxed and more cool-headed to go into the next games.
Exactly.
And I mean, I'm maybe a bit unique sometimes because I don't care about my rank. I frankly just don't give a fuck. I'm trying to have fun no matter what mode I play. But I like data. I like information. So just seeing everything, how I do and everything, like what kind of I can maybe improve on, is going to be very interesting to me, even though I don't take it that seriously. And I mean, I notice sometimes that because I don't take things that seriously, my calmness can upset others more.
Yeah, some people take it very seriously. I'm also kind of more in the middle, in the sense like I don't want to drop back too low. And like I'm currently in platinum, and I want to get back to diamond. I have no ambitions at all. Someone asked me like, "What do you want to improve in your playstyle to get to masters or grandmasters?" And I was like, "Nothing. I don't want to get in grandmasters and masters. I don't want to spend all my time between all those sweat lords. I'm here, especially when I'm streaming, I'm there to talk to my community, and I'm not there to... If you ever watch my streams are about interaction, talking to people, having fun, having fun chats, and my play style is just... my gameplay is just... Yeah, it's what you're looking at, and what some people get frustrated at, and other people find hilarious, or that other people... aspire to get to if they're kind of lower than I am. But I don't care about all that shit. On the other hand, still, if I drop lower, then I'm like, what the hell happened? You know, it's like a dual sense. I'm not. I don't have any goals, but I also don't want to drop too low. It's kind of I'm comfortable where I'm at. Maybe diamond. I think once I get to diamond, I don't have any. I'm not even going to think about masters or grandmasters.
I don't know. With you, I don't think people are used to people being fine where they are, or people being okay in not being the best. So, because a lot of people are like, hey, I want to get better. I want to follow those creators. I want to improve. I want to get to Grandmaster and be the best player of that hero. And that can be fun for you. But some people just want to fuck around and find out.
Yeah. I'm the clown. I'm not the athlete. I'm the clown. That's what
exactly.
I am. Yeah.
It's about having fun for some people, which others might not understand because they're like, I need to win to have fun in this. And everyone else is like, oh, look, I shot something and it died. Amazing.
I'm going to use that as a title for the podcast, by the way. A clown, not an athlete.
Beautiful.
Anyways, yeah, no. I mean, I think for a lot of us, it is kind of, we just enjoy playing the game and all the rest. Let someone else worry about it. There's a lot of creators that do that. There's a lot of creators that try to hit Grandmaster and top 500. Enjoy, have fun. I'll just entertain. That's my thing. But yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to the whole rework for competitive myself too. I think it is also going to. For me, like, I'm going to be honest. The thing I'm looking forward to the most with that rework is that people stop complaining about it, or they have other complaints. That it's just a change in tone of voice would be very nice, and they're really listening and they're really working hard to kind of incorporate all the feedback that they get. I can see that on a daily basis. So no, that is going to be a good thing. What I'm more curious about is I'm like the whole shop and battle pass rework, especially because that the competitive thing is going to contribute to the trust with the high level players, with the top, let's say 5% of the player base. That is going to help there. And it's also going to impact all the others, and everybody thinks that it is going to be their savior, and that's perfectly fine. But I think the bigger impact is going to be what the next steps are going to be with the shop and the battle pass. And I want to hear what their plans are with that, because that is going to be the biggest contributor to the trust, both with the new people, with the old people, with the low level people, with the high level people. What they do with engagement, what they do with progression, what they do with choice, what they do with rewards, how they make enough money, how they balance. Let's make some money, and let's make money to make sure everybody gets paid and to do the next project, but also to make sure that the community knows that they're not just about money, that they want to do, that the relationship between the community and the development team gets a chance to grow again, and that people kind of trust them again. And there's always going to be people that complain. I think that for me is going to be the big one. We're also going to get a few heroes this year that I think are going to be very interesting. We're going to get Venture in season 11. No, what I'm saying, season 10. So season 9 is going to be the rework for competitive. I think we're going to get a new map. I don't think we're going to get a new mode just yet. I think that is close. I think that is going to be closer to the summer. I don't know what else they have planned for season 9. We don't have any information on that yet.
I've already seen countdowns where people were like, those like days until Venture comes out. Like, people are excited about this hero.
Both Venture and Space Ranger are very, very popular already. Yeah, Venture for the fact that it is.
We're finally getting a digging.
Yeah, exactly,
hero,
exactly.
Which is so cool. Like, just the dynamic. It's going to be interesting to see. The fact that they finally released the non-binary hero, of course, contributes to that too. Because, I mean, let's face it, Overwatch has a huge LGBTQ player base.
They do. I can attest to that. Like, my community is a how do you say that? Is a sample of that community, and I think there's.
And I mean, like it's nice between that a lot of old white farts, how I say it in the game.
Hey,
Uh,
what the
it's
hell?
just nice to see a piece of yourself being represented in a game you love. That's what I'm always saying. So a lot of people are like, oh, they're forcing diversity. No, they're just representing a chunk of their player base in their game.
And the people that
Because
say that they're forcing diversity are just people that listen, that are on different Reddits. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but just putting in a mirror in front of society and saying, hey, those people exist. And there's a high chance that with this amount of heroes they have by now, there's at least one person in there who feels like that. So they're just implementing it. And I mean, it's like Tracer, it's not their whole personality, it's just another facet of them, which I find quite nice because there's so many other cool things to talk about Venture. And just the fact that they are non-binary is just adding to it. It's not like, hey, this is their entire personality, because that would be the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, but look, the best example, you said Tracer. No, a better example is Soldier 76.
Yeah,
He is
true.
gay. Simple. Like, would you say that he's gay the way he, well, sometimes the way he runs is a little enthusiastic, but there's no way this like, it's just a representation of what our society looks like, no matter what way you turn it. If you don't think it's not the case, trust me, your society or your is trying to suppress them and they're hidden somewhere, but those people are there. It's just part of what society looks like. So no, and I think that is a very big part of it. The non-binary thing is something that a lot of people are kind of gravitating towards with Venture. A Space Ranger is probably going to be a completely different reasons. I think Space Ranger is going to go a little closer to, a little more higher on the Scorpio scale, is what I call it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
A little more anime.
For those people who don't know Scorpio, he likes a lot of those very feminine characters, which is
creepy stuff, man. Really like the creepy hentai, like whatever, man.
There's nothing wrong in liking like feminine characters, but I kind of love how when they released Venture, everyone was confused about their gender, and I kind of called it like they have so much non-binary energy, and they nailed it so well. They just nailed it so well.
Yeah, but that's because there's a lot of people at Blizzard themselves that are it represents people in the community, but also on the team. That is also, for me, that is one of the biggest things that convinces me that these people are just as passionate about the games as we are, because they represent themselves in the game, like the places where they grew up, the experiences they had, the personalities they have. They try to reflect it in everything that they do. Other than that, we're going to get the new game mode, which is going to be I already forgot the name of the game mode, actually.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. It's basically the game mode that is, in a way, replacing 2CP, that is going to kind of incorporate some of those maps. It is going to be kind of interesting. What is the name again? Jesus Christ, it's been
I can't
3 months?
explain the game mode, but I forgot
me too.
what they called it. It's been a while.
Frozen is looking on Instagram to find it on her own account. To find it.
Yeah, I am.
But so that is also going to happen. That is going to include
Clash.
some map. Clash.
Yeah, with the first map being Hanukkah, so the like revamped version of Hanamura. Yeah,
which I love. I mean, I loved Hanamura. I've said this multiple times. Hanamura, Temple of Anubis. These are all maps. We're also going to get some interesting themes for the Battle Pass. I know a lot of people were not happy with the Battle Pass that they did this season, and I can understand. I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan myself, but I'm
happy with every theme.
Exactly what Frozen said. Look, there are going to be more seasons where the majority of the community are going to say, not my thing. But it's not always about pleasing everybody. Sometimes it's about pleasing a part of the community that you might not be a part of. And that could be a big part, but that could be the smaller part. That's how statistics work. Sometimes you'll be in the bigger group. Sometimes you'll be in the smaller group.
I liked this one. I had others that I did not really care for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some people in our community are really well. You started playing Monster Hunter recently too,
Got forced to.
but there are some other people in our community that are huge fans of Monster Hunter, and they were very pleased with this season.
Mm.
But for instance, One Punch Man and all the anime stuff, I don't care at all about that. Am I angry at Blizzard for doing it? Fuck no. I'm happy for the people that are into it. It did not convince me to listen to K-pop because of the Le Surf and stuff. It did not convince me to watch One Punch Man because of the event.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing. But I can appreciate it for other people.
And even if you don't like it, it's not taking away anything from you.
Yeah.
Just don't buy anything. Like, I didn't buy any One Punch Man skin because I didn't watch it. I don't really care, but I can still appreciate it and like be happy for people who are so into that and to have it represented in a game that they like. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I'm super excited for the theme of Eldritch Horror that they announced that's gonna
Exactly.
be out in 2024. I know some others are not gonna care for it, and it's okay.
Yeah. And the Egyptian team. Those are the kind of things I'm looking forward to too. One thing I want to add is that back in the day when Overwatch 2 started, a lot of people complaining that not enough skins in the battle pass were themed along to the team. Now people are complaining that they don't have anything in the battle pass that interests them because it's all themed towards the team and they are not interested in the theme. But look, I'm not going to say I told you so, but that's what happens. I mean, and I personally don't mind. I think it is a good idea to put skins in the battle pass that are themed according to the theme of that season. That makes the theme more relevant. But if the theme is not your thing, you're basically kind of screwed out of a whole season of cosmetics that will not interest you. On the other hand, they always mix in some other stuff. In the shop, there's definitely other stuff, but yeah, that's the shop. But that is something they might need to take along in the battle pass in the future. Is the theme is very important, but also kind of, I don't know, find ways where other people, or I don't know, find people that are not interested in that theme specifically, find stuff to do. Kind of detach it in a way from the cosmetics, because that battle pass as it exists now is very classic battle pass. But I'm actually going to make a video about this. But I've seen a lot of predictions about 2024 that the whole live service industry, like the game industry, can this freaking camera stop focusing on Yakimon, please? I'm going to start to hide him. I'm going to sit like this all the time. That they're going to get, they're going to feel some pressure because the systems as they exist now, we know that at Epic, a lot of people were fired. There are some rumors that is not going to be the end for the whole industry, that there's more going to be companies and maybe even Epic that will. It's just kind of, they're going at a spot where people are not feeling it right now, the way those battle passes work and the way they feel kind of abused. And I think it is also something to say about the demands of us as a community, as gamers, keep rising. And that is a situation, that is a bubble that is going to burst at some point. And that is something I've been worried about for a long time, that we as gamers get used to whatever they throw at us so fast that we kind of consider it to be the new norm, that it becomes extremely and very difficult for the developers to kind of rise above that and to bring us something new that surprises us and to kind of keep bringing us the value that we're looking for. And if they don't bring the value, we sound disappointed, as we do right now. And I think the whole live service games thing has kind of contributed to that in a very rapid sense, in the sense that every season new stuff needs to be different from the previous one. It needs to be.
I mean, it's all. If some people seem to forget that, I don't know. It's like when developers, when they have one hit, for example, like one amazing game, they put it out. It's a huge success. They have to keep in mind, hey, the next game we make is probably not gonna have that amount of success than our current game does. It is very possible. And it's kind of more severe with live service games because if you have like one season it's widely popular, that's super successful, people are gonna have such high expectations for the next season that you probably will not be able to like fulfill and like maybe even close, or in what kind of way. So I don't know if players are just not too used to being like, hey, this has been amazing, but I'm fine with how it was before. But they like, I just want more. I always want something better, which is kind of our society in general.
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
it's just like that, but it's just kind of being amplified. It's kind of an echo chamber right now.
Yeah, that is our part to play,
There's
is to kind of realize that it's not every season is going to be as good as the best season that we've seen up till now. We can hope that there's going to be a season, that there is going to be a season this year that is going to be better than anything that we've seen up till now, but we should not expect every season to be on that standard, because that is impossible. And that also is basically like antibiotics. The more antibiotics people take, the less effective they become. The more good seasons they throw out there, the less effective these good seasons become, to the point where no antibiotics will work anymore, or to the point that we will never be satisfied again.
I mean, okay, people that are listening, we're not talking about that they just should make bad seasons and have one good season in the entire year. That's not what we mean. Because
I
feel like
I do mean that. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, like I just heard it and was like, oh, that could have come across the wrong way. But we mean that even if you think, hey, this is an amazing season, it can't get better than that, you shouldn't like skyrocket your expectations on the next season, that they should produce something equally or better, because your view of things is very subjective. You could say, hey, I think, I don't know, season 5 was the best season so far. It was amazing. Everything else sucked. And there's some people, I didn't like season 5. It wasn't my cup of tea. It's very subjective, but people just kind of group up by now. They always find people who agree.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the bigger the audience they have, the people that say that, the more people will agree. Sadly. Yeah. But yeah, that is very well put. It is indeed not me saying that they need to make bad seasons. No, because the antibiotics, we are the viruses. We can control our expectations. We can decide. We can kind of adjust, and we just need to realize that that is reality. It's the same way with capitalism. Like every company is firing people. The whole economy is about to collapse. Why? Because people like Bobby keep making huge promises to their stakeholders and raising the roof on what they'll be getting paid out next year, and it's happening all over the place. The products, the consumers, the people working there are all victims of
capitalism.
Yeah, the CEOs just wanting to secure their own votes and to make sure that the shareholders are happy.
I kind of feel like it's kind of a tiny bit of an inflated problem in the gaming community, since most of the big gaming companies are located in America. And America is kind of like the perfect example of what happens if you give capitalism the full control over everything and let the market decide. Which I don't want to spark in political debate right now, but it definitely contributes to the state the gaming industry is in right now.
Or the world is in right now.
Yeah, the state in like how the companies are in right now just directly affect the gamers.
Yeah, to give you one example, like there's a huge fight going on here in Belgium and in France right now between the company that makes Pepsi. I know this personally because I'm a Pepsi drinker. So I get all the newsletters and whatnot. I'm on the Reddit for Pepsi.
Okay, yeah.
No. There was this. I went to the shop yesterday, and on the Pepsi rack with the Pepsi bottles are, there's like a little sticker that says, "We're not selling these products right now because the company that makes Pepsi is making ridiculous demands on the pricing." I'm like, fuck off, you guys. That is one of the biggest supermarket chains in the whole of Europe. Even though I don't know, like I think they're big. They also have stuff in the States and they use other brand names. But they're trying to secure. It's not like they're worried about us, because they want to be the ones that fuck us in the. No, I should have bleeped the other word. No, but seriously, they are the ones that want to kind of cross us over. I'm going to try and put it more politely. They want to take our money, and they don't want anybody else to go run off with our money, because all these supermarkets have been inflating during COVID. They have been inflating those prices because of reasons, and with the whole oil crisis and whatnot, and well, the oil crisis, the war in Ukraine, that the costs went up, but those costs have dropped and the prices stay up. They just keep them up there because they know, like, yeah, we can get away with it, and then they're going to tell these other
people got used to the high price.
Yeah. But then it's
what
like,
always happens during inflations.
It is, and then you get one money-grabbing, greedy little bastard telling the other money-grabbing, greedy bastard, no, I want more of the share, and they're like, no, you're not getting it, and then they're talking to us, oh, we're trying to protect you, and I'm like, look, whatever you want to do, you do it, but don't come off with this bullshit towards me that you're protecting me, motherfucker. That's not the case right here. You're just trying to screw us over.
You all just want money. Yeah, come on.
Exactly. Don't be holier than the Pope, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the world runs on. It's money.
Yeah.
There's no denying it. It just creates problems.
Well, we're not going to get into that. I'll make a separate podcast about that one day.
Overwatch podcast.
Exactly. But yeah, like the games as a service, I don't know. I think I'm really curious to see what Blizzard is going to come up with their own battle pass and their own shop, and how this whole industry is going to evolve. I would not be surprised that at some point in the coming years we're going to see a change in the model. I think Blizzard is going to do a good attempt right now and trying to find something different. Maybe it's going to be close to Fortnite. Maybe it's going to be completely different. We'll see.
You see like little sprouts of people wanting change already, with games like Baldur's Gate just having a huge success. I know a lot of people who say, oh, I didn't play it, I just bought it to support the devs because I like what they did. That has been like a good amount of people just wanting the change and trying to support the people who fuel those changes, because people have been wanting like games like back then again. Like, you buy a game and it's done, and you paid the money, and maybe there's a second part that's amazing, you pay the money again, but like live service games are just losing popularity because people are just getting fed up with it, because at the beginning it was financially like reasonable, and the prices have just been going up and up and up and up since then, that people are just fed up.
Yeah, they've been trying. They've just been pushing and seeing how far they can go, and I think they're slowly reaching the limit in which that people are starting to push back, and that is always the case. Like, you can try, you can push, but you're going to pay the price in the end, and it's going to cost you. And it's, if you are reasonable from day one, if you stick to your guns, if you keep to your morals and and that is very important. If you keep your end consumer, the player, the gamer, your fans in mind with everything that you do, both in a creative and in a financial way, you're going to make money for a long, long time. And it might not be the same amount of money in the year one than you would do with a game where you try to screw everybody over and kind of harvest, basically. That's what you do. You harvest your popularity.
Your CEO probably won't get a 50k bonus in a year, but honestly, who needs that much money?
Yeah, exactly. But what they're doing at that point is kind of using, they're kind of swapping in their popularity, their trust, and their for money, basically, at that point. And in that first year, they'll make a shit ton more money than that game that kind of sticks to their guns. But that game that sticks to their guns in year 10 will only be making more money than they did in year 1, and you'll be out of a game. Because nobody's going to trust you. Nobody's going to want to pay you. Every time you come out with a product, you're going to be going like, yeah, but we've seen the same thing with EA. EA was a giant. And now EA is probably going to be bought up this year by one of the other big ones. EA is going to be sold to someone else.
the image EA has is just known for money grabbing. Like, it's crazy the extent we see the extreme with The Sims. I'm sorry, I'm talking about another game entirely, but I mean, if you want to buy The Sims completely with all expansion packs, it's close to $1,000 for one game, which is crazy. And you just see now, like, things like Paralives, all those people coming out with competitors, and then EA realizing, oh fuck, we don't have the monopoly anymore. We can't just do whatever we want, and just that business model failing, because that doesn't work in the long run.
No, at some point it kind of and you know what the problem is? They don't care. They know, but they don't care, because those people that are there at the start that make those decisions, they get all the money out of that system in the first few years, like Bobby did right now. They bail out, they get a golden parachute, they get a shit ton of money, and all the problems that are remaining with the company are someone else's problems. The fact that that company is going to die off or going to get sold to someone else, they don't care about that, because it's not their problem. They got their money out. They don't care about those companies. They don't care about those products at all. They care about money.
And with things like Blizzard now being an Xbox company or something, we just have to hope that they can recover from everything and that they've learned. I mean, they definitely learned, but in the end, it's just about how and when they recover.
Can we make learned a word?
Learned?
They've learned.
Please, yes, they've learned.
Did you learn? Yes, I did. How did you know?
Yeah,
I could tell. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like some changes are coming. I think not in the next year. I think I've seen some people predicting that this year we're going to see people like Fortnite, games like Fortnite, Destiny, Apex, all those live service games slowly moving away from that, or kind of getting, maybe even disappearing at some point, that the retribution is at hand for those games. I think that is going to happen, but it's not going to be 2024 thing. They are way too stubborn. There's way too much money to be made still. But I do hope that Blizzard kind of anticipates into that, and that they keep an eye on this, and that they realize that they keep this in mind when they make their whole new system, and that they, like I've said many times before, trust is an issue right now, that when they're at that crossroad, that they choose the path of trust, while still, of course, making money. I mean, people that want everything for free, you just need to let go. That you're not living in let's be honest, me hoping that they're going to that companies are at some point are going to trying to regain trust is also kind of hopeful, a little naive in a way, but that's whatever. I'll deal with that myself. I swear, man, this camera, I swear there's like a whole mode to this that just focuses on your face, and still he keeps oh no, not do that. He keeps I think it's Yakimon.
Yakimon just wants to be the center of attention. Maybe sit him next to you.
Yeah, I need to turn him away or something. I don't know.
Aww.
What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, getting stuff for free, that doesn't work. That is never going to work. That is not. These people need to make money. It's just plain and simple, and they need to make a lot of money, because that team is big. I last year, I think, was it the year before that? I think in 2022, I made a video on how much money they need to run that team, and just by kind of looking at the wages at Blizzard, and then at the other costs that they might have, and how much money they need to make to kind of to just have that team working for a year. And trust me,
I mean, running a team is expensive.
Yeah. It is super expensive, and especially in a neighborhood like Irvine is very known for it being very expensive. The wages of Blizzard are not currently not the best, from what I've been hearing. But anyways, you know what? We need to end this.
Yeah.
I don't think we kind of did what we were set out to do, to kind of have this all kind of encompassing. I don't know. Is that the right word? Whatever.
Maybe.
This whole overview of what they might be doing this year. But to be honest, that is a lot of guesstimates. And the further away we get into the year, the more difficult it becomes. We just know that there's going to be a few seasons. That season 9 is going to start around February 13th. We're going to set season 10 with a new hero in April. Season 11, I'm thinking might be the season where we see the new game mode added. And season 12 is going to be the Space Rangers season, which is going to be in August. And I think overall, we're going to see a lot more stuff added. We're going to see growth. We're going to see a new battle pass system, a new shop system. We're going to get a new competitive. The team itself is listening. And I think that
if I can say one thing that I'm excited about last year, but also this year, is just the quality of skins. Overwatch, in my opinion, just has the best quality of skins than any other game I've seen so far. Just the amount of details we have in each skin is incredible. So I'm definitely excited to see what they got in their bags for next year.
Yeah, they have the best art team in the whole industry. I'm working with my camera here. I think it's just because of my hands that I keep. I don't know. I can't see. Anyways.
Well,
this is the whole life experience, guys. Anyways, that was it for today. Frozen, can you tell these nice people where they can find you?
At Frozen Unicorn on Twitter and Instagram, or X. Hope some people call it Twitter for me. With an O with a 0 except the O.
I love how she does this. You couldn't see on when you're listening, but she did this little hand gesture. It's all Twitter for me, like a little. I'm not going to say grandma gesture, but like you kids with your silly stuff, your exes and whatnot.
Anna's rubbing off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can find me as DamesTV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Make sure to check out the Omnic post for all your updates on Overwatch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, threads everywhere, basically. And of course on YouTube. I was going to come to that in a second. And YouTube for all the videos. And check out our Patreon. I want to thank our patrons for their support. You guys are legends. And you too can become part of the Omnic Post family over on patreon.com/the Omnic Post. Other than that, go check out Plush Noodle, which is Hannah on Twitter, and Lanspans if you want to see what they're up to when they're not right here with us recording the podcast. But make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're listening.
Yeah,
plain and simple, or watch us on YouTube.
We're appreciating it, and I read I read your comments. I see them.
Yeah, she does. Sometimes I paste them for her, but she reads all of them. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.